slow rolling start of a comic book look. It's another Wednesday, and we're going to start you off right. We're going to talk about comics. We're going to talk about all sorts of stuff. We're just kind of just giving it a couple minutes, letting YouTube catch up, let Facebook catch up. It's really fast on Facebook. So if you're already listening, hello, but just wait. John will give you the real deal. It's a comic book look. It's the 605. It's the comic book Sabbath. And, we're here to talk about comics. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying, John?
Heck yeah. It's a good week. It's been a quick week, too. But yeah, a lot of books came out today. I'm really excited to chop it up about them.
Yep, me too. Me too, sir. All right, well, start us off, John, and then I'll go for a little bit. So
gotcha.
Long enough.
All right. Well, I'm going to do my best with that shocker cable introduction here. So on a glass desk, here we go. Not as effective. But hey, everybody. Hey, comic book lookers and Rainbow customers. It's your boy John on Demand, a.k.a. we are in March already, and I am marching to the comic book store and getting my comics, and I am lucky to have such an amazing comic book store in honor of St. Patty's Day coming up. And of course, you guys joined by co-CEO Thomas Devine. There can only be one. Only one.
What up, folks?
Exactly. Tommy. Yes, and we are a comic book look proudly sponsored by Rainbow Comics here in Sioux Falls, South Dakota, as well as in Lincoln, Nebraska. Loving our partnership with them, and we are just going to be talking some comics tonight and some other goodness and all the nerdy joys. If you are tuned in and want to drop us a comment, feel free. We love interacting with you. I'm going to let Tom take the wheel here for a second and get the word out, and then we will take it and go.
That's right, John. We are going to take it and go. And, John, he goes and he shares all of the fun things. And, it's our time here where we can start talking about comic books. And like John said, it's always nice to get here on Wednesday. It's New Comic Book Day. I got some comics that we'll be going through. And so we're going to talk about all the comics that came in for today. But then we'll also... I got a sweet hot take from one of our friends, Mike. Let's actually just we'll bust that hot take out early. Why the hell not, John? Okay, YOLO, baby.
I am down, man.
All right, hot take. Now, as you can see behind me, I don't necessarily always have my comics kept very nicely. But we all know there are collectors out there that every week they get comics and then they don't read them. And even they'll buy two and then they will slab a comic. And what a slab means is you will get it graded, usually by the CGC, save it. You can get it done at cons or you can send it in, which is risky. That's why you take it to a con because you don't want the mail to move it from a 9.8 to a 9.0. And so then you have this comic book that you can't ever read again, but it becomes an investment. And so, this subject was brought up by our boy Sarge. I don't think he has any slabbed comics, at least not that I know of. I do have two slabbed comics that I've gotten at cons early in the days that I'm not a collector. John, do you have any slabs?
One, so it's actually a gift from Ken, and it's Avengers number. I can't see the issue. I think it's an Avengers #1 variant where it's Alpha Flight on it. Instead, it says, "What about Canada's superheroes?" And so it's a little harder to find, but that's the only one that I own.
Yeah. But some people, they live and breathe these things, and they are really. It is that speculator's market of where if you have a comic that's slabbed with a grade, it can give a specific worth value. It goes to auction, and then you can find out exactly. And it's a way that you can keep that comic in that exact preserved, condition. But for me, the gold of a comic book is on the inside, man.
Great.
I'm such a reader. I definitely do not care about how my comics are looking because for that speculation market, I'm no fool. I have thousands and thousands of comics that I paid $2, $3, $4, $5, $6, $9 in some instances for that I know are worth less than at a dollar bin that you could possibly not get rid of out of a dollar bin. Probably 80% of the comics that you buy eventually may not be worth what they are on the cover. Mm-hmm. But because it's such a small amount, to me, that $3 or $4 is worth it to read that story, see the art that was done, and be a part of this community. And that is the best part. Mm-hmm. Now, for those guys who do take it and then they make it worth something, even though that's not me, my hot take is like, I appreciate those people because it brings an interest to comics. It keeps comics high end so that every once in a while you see an Action Comics, 7.0 #1 that goes for $1.2 million. And then it keeps comics on the forefront and it makes you feel good. And at the end of the day, like, even though I don't keep my comics really nice, like, I make sure Saga #1 stays nice, and I keep it. I don't have it slabbed, but I keep my copy very nice. Or Peter Panzerfaust #1, or old, Fantastic Four issues that I have of Jack Lee and Stan Kirby. I keep those really nice. I just don't have them slabbed. So, I would love to hear what you guys think, what the people, if what their take is on slabbing comics, getting them graded, getting them put away. Yeah. I would say that even though it's not for me, I absolutely love that it's a part of our industry.
Yeah, I would completely agree. It's just a different level of collecting to me. Logistically, I just think about the storage and I'm like, man, that's a lot of like box space being consumed if you do it that way. It's very strange to just think of like just stacks of plastic slabs, but then again, I have mountains of paper comic books, in plastic bags. And so it's just a different perspective. I personally am with you, Tom. I don't prefer it because I like reading my books. And the thought of just buying one and not reading it, I can't preach, and I'll tell you why later tonight. But in terms of not physically reading every single comic book, variant covers, but you know what I mean? I agree though. Like for me, the meat and potatoes is in the book itself, getting that enjoyment out of it. The slab that I do have is on my Alpha Flight wall over here. So it's just hanging out. And that I think is the only one that I own. So
yeah, that's awesome. I don't even know what issues they are. Mine are tucked away in a long box somewhere. I've never looked at them again since I bought them. I bought them for cheap just to have slab comics. I'm sure they're not worth what I even paid for them. And but I do know, like, if you're smart and you speculate correctly, you can make a lot of money. So, you have a high graded comic that I think, I don't know if the speculation's out on, but I mean, there are some exciting comics coming out today that could be speculated on later down the road. So if you're listening to this right now and you didn't go to Rainbow today, you might want to get your ass off the couch. It's too late now. They closed a half hour ago, but get ready for tomorrow morning because you might want to check those shelves to see if one of these comics is still there. And so let's talk about the comics we got this week, which brings us in to some of that. John, do you want to start us off?
Dude, totally. So I have admittedly a pile, so we're going to do our best here. First, I was actually, I'm about 3/4 done with this issue. Thunderbolts issue #3. I went with the cutesy, high volume color cover. I thought it was adorable. I am loving this story so far from what I've read of it. Just complete not loyalty to each other. The cynicism, oh my God, it's like Dark Avengers all over again. And it makes me so happy and it warms my cold heart. And so I am a huge fan of Thunderbolts. I did catch at the end. I did my little flipping it all the way to the end and caught the end at it. So this is it for this group. But I'm hoping that Kingpin on the final page is saying, by the way, we're going to be an ongoing series magically and continue our story. But I don't know if that's going to be the case or not. So I'm just paraphrasing. Wilson Fisk, you got my back. Us big guys got to stick together. But I just I hope that is a thing for them. Oh, James, thank you. Loving the bandana action. Yes, yeah. The bandana action is because John has some crazy, like, I've been at work for 12 hours hair today. So it is not for viewing pleasure. So you are stuck with my tie-dyed bandana. So
you look good, John. You look good, man. All right. Well, I'm gonna start it off with the book that I was just talking about. So this is Berserker.
Yeah.
So this is written, as you guys can see, by Keanu Reeves. This is Keanu Reeves on the cover. On the front cover, this is just a front page spoiler, and I can do this because JP had Rainbow was like, "Are you going to open the front page?" I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "Okay, wait," and then I did, and then you get sad Keanu meme on the first page, and it apparently is a super meta violent book written by, which we're going to talk about some of his work later, but Matt Kent and Keanu Reeves. Keanu Reeves, I'm a big Keanu man. I think he is the fucking shit, dude. So I'm super stoked to see him actually writing a comic with himself starring. And then you get the best writer who writes meta comic books better than anybody ever has, Matt Kent, one of my favorite writers. He always does Dark Horse. I pick up everything he does, though. He's a very outside the box thinker, so I'm sure this is going to have a bunch of internet Keanu things tied into this book. But this is Berserker #1. This is the one that I would say, like, it's worth speculating on this thing, because if after 5 issues, if they are doing some really, really cool stuff, it will go down as a book that everybody wished that they had. The book that Keanu wrote and starred in. So I definitely suggest you guys pick this up. I'm super stoked to get into it. I haven't actually read it. I didn't have time today. But yeah, I think this is going to be the book to pick up this week if there is one.
Heck yeah. I was eyeballing it, man, but I was like, I actually had quite a big week, so I decided not to, unfortunately. But yeah, you want me to hop in?
Yeah, man.
All right, all aboard the X-Men train. We got Hellions issue #10, which is a big hell yeah. We got our favorite mechanical monstrosity, Redhead, in the background with Arcade. So talk about kind of a vintage villain. So I'm sure we're going to see more like, oh, you're in this environment and there's all these dangers. But I can't speak highly enough of this book. So if they have the same charm that the previous issues have had, these characters are all over the board, and it is just downright hilarious. Plus, shout out to Sassy Mr. Sinister. It is so freaking funny. So I'm hoping that we see just more of that. I'm flipping through really quick. Yep, he's there. Okay, good. So it's gonna be fun. I'm really looking forward to it. Also, I did see an amazing question come through from Mr. Matt from YouTube. John, do you have a favorite version of the Thunderbolts? Yeah. I'm all about that original team, man, with Kurt Busiek on the 1s and 2s. So issues 1 through, 75 or 80 or somewhere in there. Totally all about that, man. Give me that Songbird, that Mach 1 through 5 as he upgrades his suit millions of times. Atlas, Citizen V. Oh my goodness gracious. Yeah, I could talk for days on that.
Almost the entire run drawn by Mark Bagley. I mean, that guy is an absolute workhorse. Kurt Busiek, Mark Bagley, original Thunderbolts. It's like that is one of the most perfect runs of comics ever. I'm not even as big of a fan of, Thunderbolts as John, but I've read that series and it's so perfect. So
magnif.
Exactly.
Matt, bringing in some wisdom here. Who took all of Keanu's vowels? So the Berserker will find them and get payback. Yes.
Yes.
We'll find that thief. That's right.
Oh, man. Yeah, man. But, he's trying to be clever. And who knows? This could bomb. Maybe it's going to be ordered a bunch. But look, I'm a big Raphael Grandpa who did the cover. I love that guy's art. And I just think that, every once in a while, something kind of weird like this comes along. And it's obvious that, that's too obvious of a book, but then it turns out later like it's a critically acclaimed book, and we'll see. It came out today, so we don't know yet. But I have a feeling that this is going to be that kind of book, and maybe I'll eat.
I gotta get a copy, man. Like I said, I was eyeballing it. I'll probably have to have them put one aside for me or something.
I would,
yeah. But let me know how it is too.
And not to mention, like I ever even sell comics. So even if it's worth like $10,000 at some point, it's like I'll just probably end up losing it and not sell it anyway. But anyway, it's still cool that you can tell people you have it somewhere.
That's awesome. Awesome. Do you want me to do another one?
All right. Yeah, you do another one because I only got 4 comics. Really.
Yeah, I got you. All right. So up next, this is why I can't preach about not physically reading all of our comics, but I was really excited for Peach Momoko's Demon Days X-Men. And so the artwork is super cute. And there was I had to get this cover because Venom's lurking on the tree. It's probably not even Venom, but it sure looks like it. But the artwork is just so fun. Like it's completely different take.
Beautiful.
Very just so fun. So I'm so stoked. But why stop at one cover, you know, because I'm a newbie. So they had this just traditional sideways cover. I freaking fell in love with it. And I was like, yes, get it. And then, of course, they had just Psylocke hanging out with all the blossoms. And I was like, oh my God, that's all pretty. So I had to get that one too. I couldn't say no. So I'm sure everyone else that was there at the new wall, because I got there right at 10, you know, so it's the usual herd of people. And we're all like reaching over each other and stuff like that. Excuse me. We were joking about starting a mosh pit today, at the new comic wall, because there were so many of us. So we were getting a little rowdy. But yeah, so I can't preach about not physically reading every book that I buy, because sometimes I get more than one cover because there's celebration of art for me. But I'm so giddy to try it out. So,
and that looks so unique and cool, man. Oh, I mean, I ended up taking a chance on a Marvel book this week, and I don't buy any Marvel, so we'll see how that goes. But dude, I mean, like, maybe I should have took a chance on that book, because that art looks so beautiful, man. How cool!
And James is weighing in. It is lovely. Yes. I'm excited to check it out.
Dude, I'm with you, dog. I mean, that is some good art, man. I think I'm missing out on that. Well, I'll talk about my next book then. We'll talk about the book that I'm getting from Marvel. America Chavez, made in the USA. I don't know. It seemed like at least Marvel's doing something different, a new character. I don't know anything about her at all. But it looks like, you know, Captain America or something along this type of character. So I'm excited to see this new chapter, something different from Marvel. You guys all know I picked up superhero comics for, you know, years and years and years. Just currently, I don't do it as much as I used to. So I figure, you know, I'm missing it a little bit. Let me take a chance on something new. Throw Marvel a bone. I haven't bought a Marvel comic book in a very long time, since like you know, Punisher Soviet, I think. So, you know, I'm excited to check this out. You know, definitely a cool cover. You know, for all us Patriots.
There you go. Good for you, man. That's awesome. That's a character I'm not familiar with either, but she definitely holds her own in my Marvel Strike Force mobile game. So.
Oh, nice.
So I'm totally down. I respect that. James weighing in here. Chris Samney's Jonna and the Unpossible Monsters also came out today, and it's such a fun book. Beautiful art, of course. Cool.
James, I had it in my hands. I'm such a Chris Samney fan, but it was just like, maybe I felt like the premise of, maybe, I don't know, it looked like maybe like a cave girl or something, you know, fantasy. It just didn't, and it was really cartoony. It didn't seem like it was something that I personally was going to enjoy, that type of story. So I didn't pick it up, but I totally agree, and big shout out, because anything Chris Samney does, I'm totally down. It looks like he wrote this with his wife or another family member, which is really, really cool as well. It probably is a much more personal story. But yeah, he's one of the greatest artists of our time. And how is he able to do this? Isn't he still the artist on Firepower from Image? So I don't know. That dude is cranking stuff out if he's able to do both of those books at the same time. But yeah, Chris Samney, one of the greatest artists, and I'm so cool. I'm glad that you picked it up, James. You know, maybe I may have to go back, and if there's still a copy, John will pick up a Berserker, and I'll pick up.
There you go. There you go. That's what I like to hear. All right. What else do I got here? I got lots of things. I'm gonna do this random bundling really quick here on the DC side of the house. So, Batman issue 106, and can we just take a moment to recognize this sexy cover? Like the simplistic yellow mixed with that cosmic cityscape. Oh my God. And then that, what I interpret to be slight scarecrow swag. I don't know. But very happy with it. But I'm so happy to have a 106. I hated Future State. I'm so glad it's over, and it doesn't matter. And I stopped spending my money because it doesn't matter. So I am so excited to get back into the continuity of it all. It doesn't matter. I do see on the top left, there is a little Infinite Frontier. And so definitely curious about that. So much that I was recommended to purchase the Infinite Frontier number 0 to try that out. So we'll see how that goes.
Come out today too? That Infinite Zero? Yeah, nice.
So they recommended that, and I was like, yes, I'm going to go ahead and go for it. Definitely excited. Bill on Facebook weighing in on that Batman cover. Nice cover. Agreed. Hey, Bill. So definitely looking forward to that. Circling back to Chris Samney, He is, and there's also a new issue of Firepower out today.
Legend. Absolute legend. How is he able to do all that? Isn't that insane, James? Dude, so dope, dude. I know. You know, Matt, I'm gonna just pull up Matt's comment that he just hit here. I agree with you, Matt. I read the original trade now on Hoopla, like the app, the library app, and now I'm just so pissed I haven't been picking it up. It's like, no, I have to go back and I have to get all the issues, and it will be an ongoing that I read. I was nervous at first. You know, I didn't know if Kirkman was going to be taking it seriously or what, but it seems to be like I missed out hard. So, yes, I agree totally, Matt. We got to get it.
Bill, that's right. Bring that DC wisdom, man. And the best thing about Future State, it's effectively over. Preach! Everybody, if you haven't checked out our episode of Bill, go watch that episode and then go watch a Comic Book Bears and get familiar as to why this is the most informed and wise opinion surrounding Future State ever. Because he knows exactly what he's talking about. Bill and I were on the same page. So I am friends officially with the DC Wikipedia, and I love it. I love it so much. So preach. Preach.
1%er, okay?
Yeah. Also, I might have something else here too. I have to see if I can find it. I got a little mail from Mr. Bill. So since we're talking Bill here, I'm gonna leave your comment up, Bill. But I got a copy of Bill's comic that he wrote. So the Crime Fire Inquiry, personalized, which I love. So thank you, Bill, so much. It did arrive successfully and in excellent shape. So I will be reading that as well this week. So thank you. What do you mean, LOLOL? You be proud of that book. Yeah. You celebrate that book. I think it's awesome that you did that. So
yeah, so dope, Bill.
Oh heavens. Funny. All right. Well, gosh, yeah. All right, Tom, you're up.
All right, I'm up. I'm gonna go with a new number one, Scott Snyder, Noctera. Yay! So let me tell you a little bit about. I was on the fence on this. You know, new Scott Snyder, not always my favorite. He has written some really, really good comics, but not always my favorite. Mm-hmm. And then Tony S. Daniel,
best friend.
Yes, a long time ago, I was not a big fan of Tony S. Daniel. And I so far as to say is like I was about to drop Batman because I was just so sick of him. And so that turned me off. But I want to be like a person who has personal growth. And maybe I have personal growth through my tastes. That I don't have to say, oh, a new number one from Image, from a writer who can do really good stuff that you do like, but because it has an artist that 8 years ago he did a big run on Batman that you really didn't like, are you not going to pick this book up? And that's what was going through my head. But I turned around and I did pick it up, John. And so, you know, it's like JP said at the shop, hey, you know, it's kind of Scott Snyder. He's doing some good world building. I was like, you know what? JP, that was all I needed to kind of push me over the edge and give it a shot. What made you grab it, John?
You know, honestly, it kind of, like I said, I've been on this kick of just trying new things, and I was eyeballing it. I flipped through it a little bit. I saw Scott Snyder's name on there on the 1s and 2s, and I was like, you know, I'm curious. We'll see. Worst case, if I don't like it, I don't need to continue it, right? But I'm just trying new things. I'm dipping my foot in that indie pool. Yeah. So.
Well, that's good to hear. And and it can't go wrong, right? I mean, it has like this soup. It looks like some badass chick in the middle of hell. Sure. Yeah. You know, let's check it out. Why not?
Did get some clarification here from Sir James just about America Chavez there. So Marvel's new Miss America. She's been around the Young Avengers, Team Marvel Heroes Corner of books for a while. Cool. So yeah, probably appearing in some of those titles. And I just like Tom, I'm not as familiar with her, and I admittedly haven't read a lot of the like Young Avengers or anything like that, just because I'm more like X-Men and give me the villain books, and Lord forbid we ever get Dark Avengers back, but at the moment we do, I'm getting all the variant covers of that. It's gonna be great. Be a party. Nod to our postal system from Bill for sending me that comic. Agreed. It arrived. It was safe. It was awesome. And Matt, who has been commenting on our show, actually has artwork in the issue. There's an ad that he drew. So I will look forward to checking that out as well.
Hell yeah, dude. Nice work,
Yeah,
man.
gosh, my remaining 3 are all over the freaking board here. Do you have another one?
Yeah, I got 2. I got 2, but they go together.
Oh, beautiful. Okay, I'll do one here, and I'm gonna save these other 2 for last. Up next, you guys, Power Pack Outlawed. Excuse me.
Yeah, it's a Power
Outlawed
Pack book
with Wolverine on the cover. Which I'm actually gonna flip through it super quick here and see, does that really matter?
John, how is it that Power Pack continues to be able to have comic books with their name on the title? I always feel like you are the only human that would buy the book. So I'm not following this.
Well,
every once in a while you bust it out and you're like, hey, I got another Power Pack book. I'm like,
yeah, man. It's funny. So they're younger, right? So the youngest is Katie, and each issue has opened up with a Power Diary page, which is so funny, and it's just like paraphrasing her siblings and stuff. Wolverine is in this issue, as it turns out, towards the end, which is cool. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. It's been fun. I truly read it just to follow the characters.
Yeah.
So I don't expect like the world to blow up in my mind or anything, but it has been enjoyable. And the Outlawed story got kind of bit with COVID because there were a lot of titles that were supposed to be doing this, and unfortunately, a lot of them, just the timing and everything. I hung on for Power Pack because those are my dudes. So
I know it, man. I just that's great. I've never read any Power Pack.
Bill, I had a friend in college who hated Power Pack so much that it was a source of endless enjoyment.
I don't hate it. I don't hate it. Bill, I'm not like your roommate, I promise. I just don't see where the appeal is, I guess.
Yeah. For me, I grew up on it, like, because it was always on the low tables in the dentist waiting areas and the doctor's office, and there was always that shitty ripped up version that 200 people had read, which never happens anymore. And I just was like, this is so cool. Oh my God, Spider-Man's in one page. Oh, that's an ad. I don't care. I'm 8 years old. This is amazing. So, and we got Steve is in the building. Hey, Steve. Goodness, we're just buzzing tonight, man. It's awesome.
Hell yeah, man. I see it, man. Power Pack, and I like some of the dumbest shit in the world. So I mean, I guess I should understand, but just like, yeah, that one's always funny. And I do appreciate how Marvel has like these little side characters that are fun as hell.
Yeah.
John loves to keep up with them for continuity, and so do I'm sure tons of other people clearly by the comments here.
Boom.
Yeah.
Boom.
So, all right. That brings us to my next book, I suppose, John, right?
Yep.
And we got some really cryptic cover or back cover art here. It is called, I don't know which one the first one is. This one's the first one. This came out a few weeks, whenever, I don't know, but I saw this on the shelf today. Fear Case. Matt Kent, I talked about him. He's the same writer who's writing with the Keanu book, and I pick up basically if Matt Kent writes it, I read it. He's one of my favorite authors. But for whatever reason, this was number 2, and I was like, well, I'm gonna grab it because I'll have to find number 1, even if Rainbow got sold out. They must have sold out, and that's why I didn't see it before. But no, I just missed it. I went over to the comics, went over to the Fs because Rainbow keeps it really, really nicely organized, and then I was able to pick up issue 1. So now I have issue 1 and 2.
Awesome.
Tyler and Hillary Jenkins. It looks like it's going to be some sort of crime story, clearly fear case, possibly something supernatural though, with you can see like this car and it has like some scary skull, but I have no idea. All I know is that my boy Matt Kent's writing it, so I was like, oh, I'm definitely taking a chance on this. I didn't hear anybody talk about the first one, but I'll be sure to talk about it when I read it for you guys.
That sounds awesome, man. Yeah, I was kind of eyeballing that one too, but I was like, I had a few of I'm gonna try it, and so I was trying to play it a little light. My last 2 books are actually one super random, one I'm really excited about here. First, Star Wars: The High Republic, issue number 3. So again, this was a recommendation that I believe came up during the Comic Book Bears Star Wars special, and I was just like, man, I haven't been getting this. By the way, I did get my little paws on issue number 1, the 3rd printing, which is how crazy it's been selling.
Yeah.
But very cool, just a different time in the Star Wars U. And I was actually, when I was filing comics the other day, Tom, good God, I have a lot of Star Wars comics, like almost a full long box. So I'm getting up there now in terms of that for my kind of ratios. There's other people out there that are probably like, John, I have like 5 long boxes of Star Wars comics. But
well,
it's
you
fun.
could just collect Star Wars comics, right? I mean, there's enough comics that come out that if you just collected Star Wars comics, you would have things to pick up every week.
You're good. Yeah. So issues 1 and 2 completely solid. It was so much fun. So looking forward to seeing what issue 3 holds. But man, I'm so glad that I ran with that recommendation, and it's been a lot of fun. So
yeah, that's awesome.
The other one I got, circling back to our dudes at the Vault and our creative teams and everybody at Vault. But this is the catch. The plot is the book, and this is number 8. This is issue 8, and this is part of their Nightfall lineup, so all the horror comics. The catch is that this is one of those casualties that basically it hasn't been coming out for a while, and so they did not have it in the alphabetized section for the previous issues, which I'm so bummed about. And I attempted to go through those short boxes and the stuff. It's likely in the ones on the floor, except they were slightly out of order. And I'm like, I'm going to get going. So that might be an expedition for some other time to go find them. I hope they have all of them because I love everything else in the Nightfall lineup that they're doing from Vault. But yeah, I picked up issue 8. I'm going to just check it out and see if I want to get the rest of it or not. We'll see.
That's great, John. I think I have like the first 4 issues of that. I don't remember it coming out past them. I think I might have just missed them because I didn't need to drop it or anything like that. But sometimes
it's how it stop kind of thing. Yeah.
Especially during COVID this last year. So I know I have some of those issues. I got to find them somewhere for you.
Man. But yeah, no. So definitely excited about all of my books this week. That is what I have. Plus this little gem from Bill. So looking forward to that one.
Cherry on top.
Also, just on that Peach Momoko thing, I did get her variant of X-Men 18 from last week, and I just freaking loved it. So this is not reflecting the artwork on the inside of the book by any means, but the cover really jumped out, and I said, dude, I'm in. Let's go. So I got that one. That was the only X-Men issue 18 that I got for the record. But definitely fun.
Good boy, John. Good boy.
Yeah, it's so tempting. So tempting. Yeah, man. So yeah, those are my books for right now. Oh, we're getting some buzz here. Steve is writing about Matt Kent is such an intelligent and detail-oriented writer, but never tries to outsmart the reader, and such a range of genres he excels at.
I couldn't agree more, Stephen. I mean, like you said it exactly how it is. He's so intelligent, but he's never trying to outdo you. Another one of my favorite writers, Alice Cott, does that. He always is trying to kind of outsmart you, which I do enjoy that as well. But it makes his book hits or misses sometimes, where I feel like Matt Kent has such stronger consistency and still really does push the bounds of what comics can be and can do and what storytelling can do. He's definitely one of my top guys. And like I said, if I see it, if I see his name on something, I write it. So yeah, Berserker baby and Fear Case. I'm excited for a good week of Matt Kent.
Heck yeah. Also, Bill, just bringing that knowledge. Watch the failed Power Pack TV pilot sometime.
We have to check that out.
Totally have to check that out. I have not seen that. So Bill's always bringing the gospel. Goodness, we need to get him back on the show at some point.
I know he's my idol. God,
yeah.
Bill.
God. Comic book royalty. I told you.
Exactly.
I told you. It is on YouTube. It reeks of 1991. Oh yes, so much yes. Oh my God, I'm gonna totally check this out. I'm so excited. Well, we've been talking a lot about Bill and Steve. Brian, we haven't had on the show yet, but Comic Book Bears have, we love milestones. So Tom and I have safely passed ours because we stopped numbering our episodes. I'm pretty sure we've passed ours. But Tom, we'll have to do this formally sometime where we do this. But Comic Book Bears, tomorrow night, I believe, is celebrating their 200th episode. Which is a huge milestone. So first of all, bandanas, hats, and everything else off to you for that. accomplishments. And if you guys aren't watching Comic Book Bears, again, highly recommend it. They are just wonderful, and that's just such a cool milestone. So wanted to recognize them. They actually started a month before we did.
Awesome.
So that's pretty cool.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Exactly. Man, we got 10 years coming in July.
Oh, heavens, and some local love. Look at that face. Mikey is in the building. Sending love and support from Mikey and Empire. Y'all got free tattoos for me for whoa. Yes, sir. Love y'all. PS. Rated X comic from the Genie on Kickstarter. Yeah. Ooh, I'm in, Mike. I got you. We're going to take a look at that. So thank you. And please tell all the guys at Empire, too. We said howdy. You guys are such a fun crew, and it's just so cool to have you guys in town with us. We're spoiled. So thanks for popping in. That's awesome.
That comment is from my boy, Mikey Martinez. Okay, so I don't know if you saw that. He's going to have a Kickstarter where you have to check it out. Frankie 2 Pages. The dude is the most insane artist around. A 605 true classic, man. He's so good. So you definitely check it out. Check out his other books, Robot Dance Club, and then even more importantly, as you guys know, Franklinstein. I'm sure issue 2 will be coming out at some point. We'll be promoted hard. Mikey, thank you so much for tuning in, dog. You know we're big supporters, and we love you and everything you guys do over at Empire Press.
Yes, and love you guys. We'll get together soon. Yes, we need to have you on the show, buddy. Goodness, we haven't talked to you in forever. We're gonna get you on. Perfect. Well, we are just so blessed. Tom and I are very blessed to be part of this dynamic and thriving community. You guys, it is a time of isolation, but we have never felt more connected. So thank you to everyone that's tuning in and participating. It has been off the hook in such a great way. We love talking books with you guys. We love hearing from you and seeing how you're doing with your adventures. And it's so exciting to see all these different efforts coming to fruition for all of you as well. So thank you. Tom, do you have anything else, or?
No, man, I got nothing else, dude. Not at all. I mean, usually we always want to shout out our boys, and we did. So the shout outs are Comic Book Bears and Mikey Martinez. You know, I was always pushing that Instagram page too. So I would say just check out Comic Book Genie, Mikey Martinez on Instagram.
Highly recommend.
I know he's gained a bunch of followers lately, but he's constantly posting works in progress and his process. So check that out. And then, like we said, Comic Book Bears issue 200. You'd be a goddamn fool if you didn't tune into that.
Yeah, man, I'm gonna be there. It's gonna be a party. So it'll be a lot of fun. Well, with that, you guys, another dynamic week with just such a wide array of books, and we love that variety here. If you guys are tuning into the recording of this, drop us a comment, send us an email at comicbooklook@gmail.com. We'd love to hear from you. If you're on Facebook, please join our group, A Comic Book Look. We would love to continue the conversation. On Twitter, we got all the @ that you could ever need. @ John on Demand, baby. @ Tom Stu Divine, or get us collectively at @ A Comic Book Look. We're good at on and off doing like some random comic book reviews, hitting them with those beer ratings, which, by the way, I got some participation here from one of my reviews from Magma Comics Chasing the Dragon, #1 that I picked up last week. And this was because we didn't have it on the show because the books came in late. That's right. And so they are actually replying back like, yeah, we're looking forward to you getting to know the characters. I gave it a 4 out of 6 because I was getting to know the characters, and they were totally positive about it. And I'm like, you're gonna be on my show if you keep this up. Relax. Oh, and so yeah, I'm excited about that. And I haven't finished this guy yet. By the Horns. I just love the Final Fantasy spinoff logo. I was like, I'm in. Let's get it. Like, let's have fun. So I'm only halfway through on that one too. And then of course I got to read Bill's book, which I'm so stoked for. So thank you, Bill. But you guys, thank you so much. We are going to be back with you next week. We do have a special guest lineup that I'm very excited to visit with, and that'll be a lot of fun. I hope that you guys all have a really good week. We're going to be rocking out with Comic Book Bears tomorrow night in the comment section. I'm just going to be like, hey! So you'll see me in there blowing it up. Check them out. Highly recommend it. Check out Comic Book Genie. And of course, you guys, we are proudly sponsored by Rainbow Comics. So if you're in the Sioux Falls area, swing by the shop. 42nd in Minnesota, dynamic crew there. I walk in, they got that face scanner recognition. John likes Galactus. Here's all the stuff that you need. It's great. It's so great. It's amazing. They take care of me. I love them. If you're in Lincoln, Nebraska, same thing. Get to know the crew down there. And other than that, you guys know the drill. As always, we're going to just keep being awesome. And we're going to keep it comics for sure, man. Boom, 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 boom. We'll see you guys next week. Take care. Bye-bye.